Hello, 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 and welcome back to Talking to Tequila with Chloe. That's me, Chloe. Here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun, and I'll say it's alright. Wicked. Hello, happy Wednesday. We are ready to rock, baby. I know last week was dark. I know last week was deep. But you know what? Last week was also real. And sometimes, unlike a Splenda, you need the real shit. Now, I don't know when those times would be. Probably when you're baking a cake. Because for me personally, as you know, we're going to be doing a New York City recap. I just spent the week... oh my God, I just said I spent the week in New York. Let's be real. I spent 36 hours in New York. That's what my budget affords me. Luckily, it's only a 6-hour car ride away. And I do not mind cruising on the highway. I do want to try to bring back in a respectful way, highway ho, because I know that we're not really like supposed to say ho, supposed to say stuff like that. But I feel like when I'm speaking about myself, I should be able to say that. Like to me, I feel like I identify as a highway ho. Not that I'm on the highway doing ho type things, but it's like me in the highway, I lay that bitch down every night. Do you know, like I'm on that highway's on me. I ride it, it rides me. We are simpatico, erratico. So it's a 6-hour car ride away. I don't mind that. And you just pop in, get there 2-3 in the afternoon, have a wonderful dinner, full day the next day, and then hit the road the next morning. New York doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. And remember, although I am going to give you a New York recap, it's not going to be super in-depth because in July, when I'm on vacation, I am going to do a pre-recorded New York City, everything you need to know if you're going to the city for vacation, like tour guide. So we're doing a New York City recap this week. We're going to touch on a few other things I care about, aka 28 Years Later coming out soon, a little work update, a tiny little tequila time, and the One True Love recap. Yes, we started reading a book. Look at us. It's funny because I am the type of person where I normally say I'm going to do things. I'm going to start taking vitamins. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start reading. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start... What else do I say? I don't really know. But I will say, and I always think like, oh, I failed, or I really didn't do it, or I kind of think of myself as like all talk, no show. But when it really comes down to it, like, for example, I started saying a while ago, like, oh, I want to do my nails. Nails done, press on nails. Like, I understand that they're press-ons, but they have been on my hands for about a week now. But like, look at me. I started the vitamins, Ritual Vitamins, if anyone cares. A meeting with my trainer again on Wednesday. I started that damn book. Now, the book is going to be an interesting talking point because it's a little boring, but we'll get into it. And then, of course, and I say this much politicking, I mean, it might be a sentence. I'm not sure. I'm still mulling it over. Because I'm trying to have a light and bright week. Remember those light brights? We need to bring those back for these kids. So I guess their iPads are technically light brights for them now, but I feel like it's not good for them. Like I felt like our light bright was more similar to a Firefly, and the iPad being a version of the light bright is more similar to like the sun itself. If you look directly into it, it like burns your eyes a little bit, kind of like that. So, I want to get started with the New York City recap. Oh, by the way, let's set the scene. I'm in Annapolis, and I feel like I also need to start saying the day I'm recording because things are happening so fast in this like news landscape that like you need to know it is Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Okay. So like if anything happens beyond this, that's why I didn't talk about it. It's not that I didn't care. It's that it's physically impossible. It's Tuesday morning. I'm in Annapolis. I'm in my bed. We're having a little sleepover. I have my little pajamas on. Now, technically, we're not going to sleep after this. We're going to work because God forbid we were born into wealth. but that's okay. It gives us a personality. Always remember, every single time you're mad that you weren't born into wealth, that you weren't born with perfect tits that sit on your chest just right, if you weren't born with no cellulite, if you were born with a mole on your face, if you were born with a crooked nose, if you were born with dishwater brown hair, I'm not saying that any of those are bad things, right? But normally you're like, I wish I was born with blonde hair. I wish I was born with perfect perky tits. I wish I was born with this. It's like aspirational, right? We have personality and we're also cool, hot, fun, and attractive. Like you can have, dirty dishwater hair and someone else thinks it's gorgeous. For example, Amanda Batula on Summer House has, to me, exactly what I describe as dirty dishwater brown hair. And that term is, to me, that was a very common way of explaining people's hair back in the day. To me, that is my favorite hair color. Like, I wish I had that hair color. And, for years, she dyed it blonde. Now she's back to her natural color. So she understands what I'm saying. She tried to brighten it up a little bit. But now she knows the original color is the best. And she's charming. Do you see what I'm saying? So, I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but it's okay. We went up to New York City. It was my boyfriend's birthday. He loves New York. I love New York. We were trying to think of things to do around Pittsburgh, and we were like, oh, we could do this. We could do that. We could do that. But we've both been pretty stressed out, for notable reasons, the kind of America seeming like it's actually fraying in half, or like in thirds or in fourths. So all of a sudden I was like, should we go to New York? And like, that was that. Like, the deal's done. We're very toxic for each other in that sense, that we say that we need to save money, but also like the second we feel like we need to treat ourselves, like you mention it, it's done. Like, it's a sealed deal. Like, it's happening. So we drove up to New York Wednesday, and we got there around 3 p.m. Now, what we proceeded to do was pretty insane. We immediately went to Sugarfish and got some sushi because it's our favorite. And then we're like, oh, let's walk around, down around Soho. We were trying to think of what to do. Oh, and by the way, at the Sugarfish place, a very, 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 very famous Mexican singer was there. I don't know what his name is. My boyfriend recognized him, which was apparently crazy. He said it what kind of was like the equivalent of if you had run into like Madonna or something. So he didn't say anything, obviously, because we're very cool people. Very cool, But we noted it. A little exciting way to start the birthday trip. So we're like, what should we do? What should we do? And we decided, oh, maybe let's go to the Banksy Museum. Banksy is that spray painting artist. So we're like, let's go to the Banksy Museum. So apparently that's on Canal Street, which I've never been down onto Canal Street. Now, I am happy we went down there because, they talk about, Canal Street where they hawk the fake purses and this and that. And I always wondered, like, well, how do you know where to go? Oh, you don't need to know where to go. You just get onto Canal Street and it's fucking everywhere. It's like boxes of bags, boxes of bags, boxes of bags. And it's all these guys standing around. Like, to me, I feel like if I could give any of those people advice, if they're looking to expand their, fake bag empire, they need to have not like 5 35-year-old men like guarding the boxes. I understand that they need to protect their merchandise, but like, I already very, very seldomly want to interact with a man I don't know. Like, if you're a man and you're with your wife, hello, nice to meet you. If you're a man and you're at my job, it's so good to meet you. Like, love, oh, okay, great, we're coworkers now, best friends. If you're, my dad's friend, hello. If you're just a man on the street, warning, alert. And like, those are the people you have selling the bags. I don't even want to make eye contact. It's like, I need not apply to that conversation. So I would say maybe try to get some cutesy girls around, of course, of their own free will, but it just was like a little intimidating. So we went into the Banksy Museum. Banksy is that spray painting artist that normally is very in tune with like very politically inflammatory things going on. His art means something. It's a message. So my boyfriend was not familiar with him. So I'm like, let's go to the Banksy Hotel or Banksy Museum. So it was, of course, wonderful. The artwork was very moving. There were a lot of things that are going on right now politically that were like very evident in his art. So it was actually very nice and like it was very nice to go there and kind of feel like, okay, stuff like this has kind of been happening for a really long time. Just because we're not cognizant of it in like our current young life here, like doesn't mean it hasn't happened, and it will happen again, and like we probably will be fine. It just seems like it seems like that is the world. Like it's insane men try to take over because their dad didn't kiss him goodbye or something, and then they go away, and then the next insane man, and then they go away. And now, of course, I will say women are starting to dabble in the cruelty. Okay, women showing up. Okay, feminism, we wanted equal. And I didn't mean being a psychopath, but I guess that's what you meant. Hello. Like, these women, oh, like, they kind of were so against feminism, which is like equal for everyone. But then they kind of are actually being feminist in the sense that they're trying to be just as evil as some of these men. Caroline Levitz. So I don't think they realize that that's what's happening, but it's something I've noticed, okay? After the Banksy Museum, so I would highly recommend that. After the Banksy Museum, and by the way, if you're walking there and you're like, whoa, seems like I should abort mission, just keep going. Like, look down, walk straight, you'll be fine, and then all of a sudden you'll see the door that says Banksy, go on in. Air conditioned, they have restrooms. Perfect. Okay. The next day, I almost skipped the most important part. We decided we really wanted to, normally when we go to New York, we have this like extremely regimented plan that we come up with. Like we're going here, then we're going here, there, we're going here. This is the plan. This is the plan. But we really wanted to just mosey around the city and like pop into a New York City restaurant. One of the big things we wanted to do this trip is just see what restaurants call our name. So we were walking around in this restaurant. It was not good, so I'm not even going to mention it. I don't want to blast them. We moseyed into this restaurant. It was all right. It was in Soho. There were like mushrooms everywhere, like mushroom art and sculptures. It was so bizarre. Now, I will say the chairs at the bar were really, really comfortable, but it was just like, what is going on here? We got just a few appetizers to snack on because we had just had our sushi. Then we went back to the hotel, changed. I think this is too detailed of a recap, so I'm going to actually start being more vague. We went to a little park, and then we went to the park the next day. Oh, we just went home. I think we got ready, and then we went to a comedy show. That's what we did. Comedy show was phenomenal. I'm going to get more into the comedy show scene during the New York City like deep dive recap. But we went to a comedy show, and then, of course, we got Joe's Pizza. The next day, I went to the most fabulous coffee shop. I think most of you saw it. There were swings in the coffee shop. You know me. I'm on my full fat latte type of grind right now. Like, if it's not full fat, if it's not fucking me up, if it's not giving me indigestion, if it's not giving me just the most severe abdominal pain, I don't want it. I don't want oat milk. I don't want almond milk. I don't want nuclear war. I don't want real sugar. I want Splenda. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't want related to my coffee right now. And what I do want is a latte with extra ice, full fat milk. And normally when you get that, it's either exactly what you were looking for, or it is kind of like you're like, whoa, what just happened back there? Like, what was going on back there? It seems like the ratios are off, honey. You know what I mean? So this 787 coffee, oh my God, dude. The cashier was so nice. They had little swings in the coffee shop, windows open to the street. You're just swinging, not crazily, right? Because you're not outside at a playground and we're not 15 years old, but you're just lightly rocking your body and sipping this coffee, which came in a bag. Now, at first, I was going to be like, okay, sustainable queens, like, and then I realized, oh, wait, I feel like this is the opposite of sustainable. Now, I will say, I feel like they have the coffee in the bags because it's rough as shit right now. And I feel like you could probably order like 5,000 bags for $5 and like 5,000 cups for like $45. So I was a little bit, I wanted to ask, are these bags biodegradable? But then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to get it. I mean, everyone right now is truly just surviving. So I'm not going to be worried about whether or not 787 coffee is like going down the sustainable route. They seemed very in tune with what's going on. They had a lot of stickers that were like, I think the coffee shop is an ode to like Puerto Rico in some way. They had chicken empanadas for breakfast, and they had all these little like Puerto Rican stickers everywhere. So to be honest with you, I'm not worried about if the coffee bags are sustainable. You know, we have to prioritize things that we're focusing on right now, and for me right now, that's on the back burner, and that's okay. But then we strolled around. We went to parks that day. We went to the Edge, which I'll talk about more in the New York City tour guide episode. And then we went to Kike Crudo, which was and now let me spell that for you because I know it's not spelled the way it sounds. Quique, Crudo, Crudo. That is a small plates, seafood forward, innovative Mexican restaurant in the West Village. Now, when I say Mexican restaurant, that's being very generous. It is the quintessential teeny tiny little Mexican restaurant. Like, they don't even have tables. What they have is like a bar top type table along the entire, excuse me, I had the hiccups, along the entire wall. And then they have a bar seating. Oh my gosh, so sorry. Oh my God. Wait, I should have tried to sing a raspy song before I cleared my throat. So it's literally bar top, kind of like a long counter that runs around the entire restaurant with like bar stools. So you definitely are not going to be going there with like a party of 5 or a party of 6. Now, I will say the one reason it's very nice is because it's walk-in only. It's also named like one of the top restaurants in the city right now. And it also was created by a Michelin star winning chef. So if you are going to New York and you want that quintessential tiny little hole in the wall restaurant feel, but the aesthetic and the vibe is really well thought out and beautiful with Michelin star chef inspired food and craft cocktails that'll blow your back out, you want to go to this place. Yes, it's small plates. Yes, it is seafood forward, but they do have some non-seafood things. They have a chicken mole dish. They have a sirloin that we got as a special. They have guacamole. They have a salad. So there are things there that if you don't want seafood, you absolutely can get. We got 6 small plates. You can get 5 and be totally fine. We didn't even finish the last plate. It was too much food. So it is quite expensive. I would not recommend it if you were doing a budget-friendly New York trip. Normally, I'll just be fully transparent because normally when we go to New York, like we order what we want, we throw caution to the wind, we charge it on a credit card and then, just figure out a way to pay it later. And we kind of look at the menu prices a little bit, but we really try to enjoy ourselves while we're there and not focus too much on that. We did get the bill and it was $302, and that was a shock to the system. I mean, that's not, I'm not, we're, we, Like, we don't look at prices necessarily at the same time. Like, we kind of do. Like, we'll clock it. Like, okay. But I think the problem that we had run into is they like listed us the specials verbally. And like one was a steak and one was a like ahi tuna crudo. And we're like, oh, we'll take that. But like, I think those might have been like really expensive. You know, so you can spend less money there because the menu does have prices. It's just, you know, I think you gotta do the math in your head before you order. But we did realize we could go back again if we ordered one less small plate and one less cocktail, and we didn't get the specials necessarily, and we actually got menu items that we could see what the price was. But they had a lobster dish, which was so unbelievable, and it came with like this creamy coconut sauce that you would think sounds bad, but oh my God, dude. It was probably one of the best entrees I've had in my entire life. Now, when I say entree, I know I said it a small plate, but like what they gave us looked like a whole fucking lobster. It was like a lot of meat. There's a picture on my TikTok. I did a little restaurant review, but it was really fabulous. Oh, by the way, I'm going to drop a New York City photo dump today on my IG. I wanted to line it up with the podcast drop so you could check it out there. Look at me, kind of just matching things up to be aesthetically pleasing. No. We hit the road the next day, and that's that. Okay? It was fabulous. I think we can all agree that the best version of me is when I'm in New York. I mean, I feel like you saw me in New York on Instagram, on TikTok, and I just was glowing. I was shining. I had a golden hour glow to me. My spirit lifts up. I become a free woman. I am meant to live in the city. I'm not meant to wake up in my suburban home with my front lawn, get into my Kia Sorento, and drive somewhere. My feet are meant to hit the pavement. I am meant to step outside of a concrete jungle, have the hot air hit my face, the energy of people walking past me. It winds me up. It invigorates me. Okay? If I am a car, my gas is the city. So, you know, I think it's hard because my boyfriend always says, like, in the dream life, like, oh, we, you know, a 1-story ranch, you know, where the puppies can run free. And I'm kind of like, or a townhouse in the West Village. And like our dogs, like my dog Luna, she's very social. Like, she would love to live in the city. She would love it. She would live her best life. You know, I saw a video of a little dog that was like barely walking around. And they're like, oh, when my 13-year-old dog, when I let her think she escaped and she's like prancing around the yard, like, I'm like, well, Luna's 12 and she acts like a fucking crackhead. So I don't know how long Luna's going to live, but I think it's going to be at least another 10 years. And I feel like we should give her the city life. I think she would enjoy it immensely. She loves being pet. She loves attention. She loves people being around, you know. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, my Botox did set in. Do I not look like a porcelain doll? Yes. I'm like, my face, my forehead is literally frozen. Like, where's Elsa? Someone call Olaf. Okay. I did want to quickly touch on the LA protest last week in the sense that I wanted to clarify, because I listened back to my episode to see how really catastrophically negative it was. I was saying California's like a civil war and Trump was at the UFC fight. I did want to clarify. I understand that it actually wasn't, in the sense that there were a small group of protesters that were like physically clashing with the police through, of course, the police instigated that and ICE instigated that. But what I meant was, because I was in the throes of passion when I was describing it, I understand that California wasn't on fire. It wasn't a civil war. It wasn't, you know, how the media was trying to portray it. What I meant is more in the leadership level, like Gavin Newsom, the National Guard, the Marines, Trump, like legislatively. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm like, Trump's at a UFC fight in California is like in a fucking civil war. What I was trying to say is the political leaders, Trump, the military, the actions of the higher ups are very inflammatory toward each other, threatening each other. I'm not going to pay taxes. I'm going to pull your funding. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I understand that most of the media was trying to do that propaganda that protesters are like, evil, disruptive people and blah, blah, blah. So I listened back to that and I was like, I don't think I explained that good enough, Now, I do want to say, of course, with that, I've had 2 episodes now that were titled The Silence of Influencers. And while this episode is going to be light and bright, I really just do need to say, this week was the week where everyone did that like singular obligatory, like, I stand with the immigrants. So while I do appreciate that, Tana Mojo said something. I've called her out multiple times. Trisha Paytas said something. Kim Loser Kardashian said something. I think Olivia Rodrigo has said something. A ton of people have said something. Now, was it the singular obligatory post or comment? Yes. I guess, is it better than nothing? Yes. I think it's probably good that the norm should be that people do not agree with that. Like it is good when people say stuff, because it does just show, the tide is turning toward people finding this behavior unacceptable. But I will say there were videos of like Ethan Hawke, kind of cheering on protesters. Brad Pitt was at a he's in that new F1 movie, and he's doing a press tour right now, and someone had a Mexican flag, and he took the Mexican flag from them and like held it up and was running around with it and like doing a thumbs up. So that was nice to see. That was really nice to see. Kerry Washington went to the protests. So that whole, celebrities kind of acting like nothing is happening seems to be slowly trickling away, which is good. But I did just want to mention those 2 things because they're things that I've spoke about ad nauseum, and they did happen last week, and I wanted to touch on it while it was still fresh. Now let's get back to things that I'm really trying to focus on right now. One of the most pivotal movies in the zombie sphere was 28 Days Later, starring Cillian Murphy. It was the zombie movie that shifted the narrative from zombies being these slow Walking Dead, kind of, that had traditionally been how zombies were portrayed before. And when 28 Days Later came out, it was the first movie where zombies were depicted as these like psychotic, really fast running, like almost unnaturally fast running, like super freak, really scary, like running towards you, like you can't even get away, like ripping you into a million shreds and like biting you. So that was a pivotal change in the zombie sphere of movies. And technically they weren't technically zombies. They were actually infected with a rage virus. It's slightly different, but it was still the feel of a zombie. And then shortly after, the sequel came out 28 weeks later. And honestly, 28 Days Later is a little bit of a bizarre movie. It's a little corny. It's very camp almost. And then 28 Weeks Later was much, much more horror forward. It was very much so a more true traditional zombie movie, not campy, not corny at all versus the original. But people aren't talking about the fact that that franchise very, very thoughtfully and very geniusly has now made and is releasing June 20th the third movie 28 years later. And why it's so genius and why I appreciate them so much and why I wanted to mention it is because for me, movie people that are really thoughtful and take their time to do things that the audience would appreciate, like really makes me feel like thought of as a viewer. So that the original movies came out 28 years ago. And they released this movie now 28 years later. So it's always the 28 days, 28 weeks, and now 28 years. And they matched it to actually be 28 years after the original. To me, that is a thoughtfulness that I can't really describe. For me, it's like when you make a mac and cheese and you add Gouda to it. Like, you don't really know why that mac and cheese is different or special, but it is. Like, there's something about it that really just exceeds the other types of mac and cheese that you have. So I am beyond excited for 28 years later to come out. I'm hoping it's good. That guy is in it, Aaron Taylor Joy. Who's the man that married the director when he was like 18 and she was like in her 40s, and everyone said it was like a case of grooming, allegedly? He's in it. Aaron something. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm praying it's good. Like, to me, a good zombie movie, a good post-apocalyptic movie, that'll bring me right out of a depression, honey. It is my favorite genre. My top 5 favorite movies, one of the 5, like, listen to my top 5 favorite movies and really let this sink in, okay? The Pianist, heavy. American History X, heavy. Civil War, heavy. The Bourne Identity, not heavy, but dark. And then World War Z, like with Brad Pitt. Like, when I tell you post-apocalyptic movies are like, just, I love them so much. So I'm very, very excited, and I feel like I just wanted to spread the word that whoever created these movies was very thoughtful, and we should applaud them for that. Now, I was going to give Annapolis work update. I'll just quickly say it. There's a lot going on right now. I'm technically fine. Like, so many people are quitting, all my coworkers, and I'm just pray for me, please. Okay. Now, a quick tequila time. Because I do have to go to work in a little bit. There's a new TV show coming out that is so 2002 coded that it blew my mind. I mean, now, am I necessarily saying it's a bad thing? Not necessarily. Obviously, like, the peak of reality TV was that, like, Rock of Love, Flavor Flav, Jersey Shore, and, we kind of had moved past that, but networks like VH1, networks like E, I mean, they're floundering, right? Like, they had that kind of iconic type of TV show. That landscape moved, and now they're just, I mean, what's even on E, right? Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what's on E because I don't watch it. So there's a new TV show coming out called Plastic Surgery Rewind with Terry Dubrow, the husband from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Heather Dubrow's husband, who was also on the TV show Botched. In Plastic Surgery Rewind is featuring people like Aubrey O'Day, Kim and Biermann from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Jessica Dime, Larissa Santos Lima, Sophia Algarabili. And it's basically celebrities that got a lot of plastic surgery done who want to reverse some of it now. And so they're in like this competition / therapy TV show where Terry Dubrow helps them figure out what surgeries they can reverse. Tell me that is not so fucking 2002 coded. Like, it's coming out in July. I just wanted to put it on your radar because I was in shock when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, this is like so old school. It's insane. I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, for me right now, like dumb reality TV kind of is saving me. So I'm going to give it a shot, to be honest with you. Next, Kyle and Amanda from Summer House are confirmed to be joining season 10. In the reunion, it kind of sounded like Kyle was saying, they were talking about kids, and Kyle said something like, one last hurrah. And it kind of sounded like that might be his last season. I know that there's like the kid conversation, kind of in the midst of them. There have been talks about the girls getting their own TV show in the city. So I don't know if this is their last season or not. So far we have lost Paige. We have lost Amrul. We have lost Lexi. Lindsay is obviously not going to be a full-time cast member because of the baby. So for sure it's Kyle and Amanda. Carl is confirmed coming back. Sierra, there's no word yet. Who else am I missing? Oh, Jesse and Wes, I'm sure they're coming back. So it seems like they're going to have a few new girls in this season, and I'm wondering who it is. Because for me, girls obviously make the show. That is a show for the girlies. So I'm really hoping it's people that like we vibe with. I was trying to watch the new season of Below Deck, and they cast a girl that was on Love Island, and it is the most insufferable thing I've ever seen. You can tell she just is like trying to get camera time. Like she's not a stewardess that lives and breathes the sea. She's a girl who was on Love Island who took the yachty course and is just like, oh, I'm a boat girl now, but really she was cast because she was a character on Love Island. It's so annoying. So I really hope with Summer House they keep that authentic feel of like New York City people. Like I don't want to see someone I already know. There was talks of Brianna Chicken Fry being cast. Like abso-fucking-lutely not. Do not start to cross-pollinate these like already famous people. Like that is not it for Summer House. Okay, next. Just a little tiny story. Paige was on Love Island and she looked like a fucking smoke show. She had like a long fake hair she looked really freaking good. Honestly, like stunning. And that's all I have to say about that because I don't watch Love Island. I saw a clip of Love Island where the girl was like, you have to pick who's leaving right now. And like all these people were like, no, say no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. No. And I literally was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like it was just a clip on TikTok, but I was like, holy fuck. Like, wow. So now let's quickly recap One True Loves. We read 2 chapters. I did realize that if we read at that pace, we will finish in about 10 to 15 business years from now. So I'm going to say for next week, let's read up to chapter 6. My electronic book is saying it's 544 pages. I'm hoping the last 75 of those are like a bibliography or something, because the first 2 chapters, honey, I was bored. I mean, I literally was like, wow. I mean, and what is the weird obsession of like the butt being mentioned 15,000 times? Like I was reading this book and it's just like my butt and my big butt. And I hate reading high schooler point of views. I feel like a creep. Like I don't want to read about a high schooler and her love life and her crush. Like to me, it's like it's the same way I don't watch TV shows about like high schoolers and their stuff. It's like, I don't care. Like I'm fucking 34. I'm fucking old. Like I don't need to be seeing like a 17-year-old's first kiss. It creeps me out. So the book so far is a little boring. There was one enticing part of the book where she's like, oh, and then my husband called, who I thought crashed in the ocean 5 years ago, or whatever she said. And I'm like, okay, so what? Did he get amnesia? Was he kidnapped by pirates? I don't know. We had a whole chapter of a flashback in high school where it made me feel sad and weird because the two sisters like kind of hate each other. And I'm like, well, I can't relate. I'm not used to people that like siblings stick together. So for me, so far the book is okay. I'm hoping by the time we get into chapter 6, we really are cooking with gas, but we'll have to see. Now, in terms of politicking, I just want to mention, shout out to anyone that went to No King's Day. So happy for you guys. I'm really sad I had to work. It was a huge success. 12 million people came to protest, the largest in U.S. history. So we are making huge strides, people. Every single voice matters. And then, of course, I just want to acknowledge and pay respect to Melissa Hortman and her husband who were killed by a political assassin. He has been caught. We're not going to say his name because we don't glorify people like that and we don't acknowledge people like that in the sense that they want to go down in some kind of notorious history of notoriety, but you will just be some loser that's forgotten about. John Hoffman was also shot, the senator and his wife. They are stable. Now, I do want to mention that Luigi Mangione killed a healthcare CEO, one single person, and was labeled a domestic terrorist and is in the most maximum security prison and is being charged and is facing the death penalty. This man in Minnesota posed as a cop in a cop uniform with a cop car, went to 2 separate Minnesota lawmakers' homes, a lawmaker and a senator, shot in assassination type style the spouse and the politician, killed 2 out of 4 of them, and he is being charged with second-degree murder. Second degree. His roommate has confirmed that he is not Democratic. He is in fact MAGA and he voted for Trump. Tim Walz did, this part kind of confuses me, but apparently he was like elected to or put into some bipartisan board. So they're trying to say that he's Democratic. He's not. That's not what a bipartisan board is. So he's MAGA. Let's just be really clear. And his roommate says he is, and he voted for Trump. So I guess if you are a MAGA, and you shoot for lawmakers, for Congress, for senators, for elected officials or 2 elected officials and their spouses, and you planned it to the point that you have a police gear on and a police car, I guess that's not first-degree murder. I guess that's not political terrorism. I don't know. It's interesting. Just interesting. Now, we're going to close out the week with this week's Ça va, ça va, chic, c'est la vie. Ça va, chic, c'est la vie. Ça va. And I think this week I am going to give it to the coffee maker at 787 in Chelsea. She was absolutely lovely. She remembered my order 2 days in a row. And she gave me so much extra ice in my coffee. She was very friendly. She offered us chicken empanadas, which totally put a pep in my step for that day. And it was a breath of fresh air. Loved you, girl. You were stunning and slay. Now, always rate, review, subscribe, talk, share, love. Chic, c'est la vie. We are one and we all are gonna get through this. I promise you. And if we don't, at least we're hot and fun and have people that we like and they like us. Rate, review, subscribe, like, share. And wait, there was something I wanted to say last week and I didn't say it. And I was like, if you said that, it would probably help you. Who knows? Maybe I'll write it down next time. Bye.